Hey guys, really quick before we get started on this episode, if you think you might like a Fireside t-shirt or other cool Fireside swag, including back rubs, be sure to check out our Patreon page and consider becoming a patron of the Fireside Tattoo Network. It helps us continue to provide free content to you guys, and then you get a little gift as well. The link is below. Please check it out. We would greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the episode. There's our end. Hey, welcome to the Fireside Tattoo Podcast. I am your host, Jake, and we're at the Star of Texas Tattoo Art Revival, our second show of the day. It's been a slow start. This is Amy Shandick.
Hi.
Precisely Veiled Tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the shop, or is that just your? And it's where? Galveston.
Killeen, Texas.
Killeen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Who sings about Killeen? Lyle Lovett he sings about Killeen.
He does in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, in some song I've heard him. That's there's what I know about Killeen.
That much.
How big of a town is Killeen?
It's actually quite large. It's right next to Fort Hood. It has the largest military base in the entire world.
Oh, the whole world,
Yep.
Really?
Yep. As far as square footage goes, yeah.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, and it's what branch of the military? Like
all
of them?
Mm-hmm. All
Wow.
four come down to do different sort of training experiences. Mostly it's Army, but all four branches do come down for different situations and whatnot.
Yeah, crazy. So a lot of military tattoos there?
Yep. Not just military tattoos in general, but the military people.
Tattooing military. Yeah, that's what I meant. Military tattooing. My first apprenticeship, we were in Memphis, Tennessee, and there was there's a town called Millington that's maybe 45 minutes away that had a Navy base, and my apprenticeship was driving a shuttle back and forth to the Navy base to and bring them for the day.
That way, you bring them and bring them out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So you've been tattooing how long?
10 years.
Okay, awesome.
10 years.
What I was just going through your work a minute ago, kind of just refreshing myself. I looked at it when we first reached out. Really painterly, and a lot of stuff I noticed you. I wouldn't say like watercolor, but no outlines, a lot of bold color, not a lot of line work, especially in your floral
Incorrect.
stuff. Is that not right?
I use a ton of line work.
Oh, not a lot of black line work.
I don't use black line work
Sorry,
a lot.
not a
It's
lot of
okay.
black. Yeah.
No, I have to use line work because I have to be able to structure in the pieces so that they actually hold over time, and so color blocking and blending and that nature is actually held in well, so that way you get the painterly effect without having the illusion of losing the piece within years.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's able to hold.
So talk for a second about your approach with not using a lot of black in those. You're using a lot of a full value range within color, but not a lot of straight black in those tattoos.
Correct.
And you've seen that those are you watching those heal over 4, 5, 6 years?
Oh, yeah.
And they're holding real well?
Yeah,
real solid?
as long as the clients understand that they have to maintain taking care of their skin as well, it's a give and a take. I can only do so much with what my experiences is, but it also helps that I train the clientele to understand. Like in Texas, we get sunburnt in the dark. So I always try to advise them, like if you're getting your left arm tattooed, that's driver's side, so have a towel with you in the car so you can lay it over your arm and things like that. Sunblock, I preach it. Every single time I actually prefer to use something high in zinc oxide. All of those factors help to prevent the sun from destroying the tattoo as quickly, but also not depreciating their value of life. So people
a sunblock that's high in what?
Zinc oxide.
Is that one of the SPF kind of? Is that one?
The
of
SPF really doesn't matter. The zinc
Someone
oxide.
else told me that. Why do they rate it in SPF then?
That's just what people use to be able to sell it.
Huh.
If you look on the back of it, if it has zinc oxide in it, it's going to help prevent the sun from being able to get directly to the skin as quickly. It's that thick, creamy, white, obnoxious lotion that nobody likes.
It won't
but
soak in and just stays on.
No, it stays pasty white, but it makes your tattoos stay beautiful and it prevents, skin cancer. It's kind of sucks to have.
It's a good trade-off, I guess. Yeah.
It's a good comparison.
I also, flipping through, noticed you do quite a few reworks, cover-ups, things like that.
Yes.
Something you seek out or something that finds you?
Years ago, it just became something I became personally encouraged to do. A lot of people were not wanting to, or I kept hearing the same sentence, nobody will touch it, nobody will go towards it without a laser, blah, blah, blah. And I kept wondering why.
Yeah.
Why are artists so much against or shying away from going after this kind of tattoo when there's clearly a lot of clientele who have made mistakes? And so instead of forcing them to go to the laser machine, which it isn't always necessary, give them an opportunity to get a better tattoo that they want, tackle the piece, so why not? And then naturally I got bigger and bigger and bigger on what it was I was willing to go after to do a cover-up on, and able to. We have to be realistic as well.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of became a niche.
Yeah.
I like the challenge.
It is challenging. What I know, every cover-up is a little bit different, but if you had to kind of say my approach to cover-up is cover-ups generally are trying to distract the attention from where the old tattoo was and make something, hide it in the recesses of something new, or what would you say if you had to put into words how you structure your cover-ups?
Well, the first question I ask all clients is, if that piece was gone and you had bare skin and you had to get something that size or larger, what would you like to have tattooed on you? That matters more than anything.
Of course.
Once there, then pull the eye away. Try to manipulate it in a manner where you're using some of the existing line work, if possible, to push right into that and blend it in. It's like a magic trick. You don't want the focus to be here, so you do want to create a very cohesive piece where you're looking at the top and the bottom, and you're doing the full circle of just like a regular paint piece if there were a piece of art on the wall.
Yeah. You
want to draw the eye everywhere. And so same thing goes where the challenge for the cover-up is to make it not look like that cover-up even existed. Right. So a giant block of black ruined it. Ruined it. It's a horrible decision.
Yeah. I think something super important you just hit on is trying to work. I think a lot of people try to fight against an old tattoo rather than working with the lines of the old tattoo, or working with the shape and trying to build from it and use it as much as you can to your advantage, instead of trying to just blast over it.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Tell me just a little bit, not to keep jumping around, but you're doing a seminar here tomorrow. Have you done them before?
At this show last year, no. Last year at other conventions, yes.
You have? Okay. How many seminars have you?
Last year I tried to put on, I think, 10, give or take. It's harder. I'm doing the business side of things, and it's not really an interesting, fancy topic for everybody, but it's necessary, and I'm good at it. So why not try to teach everybody? I enjoy teaching, and if I'm able to pick up one aspect of knowledge that can assist somebody's future to make them more successful at their own personal business, I'm going to give them that knowledge. There's no reason not to. Yeah.
So. What, when you're structuring, when you're laying something out like that, our show's a little bit similar in that where a lot of times I'm trying to lead someone in a way where we're trying to at least start a conversation about a topic to educate a group of tattooers. And I'm always trying to think of the best ways to approach it. Whenever you're trying to become a tattoo educator, when you're laying out a seminar, what how do you structure it into your?
Well, last year I was trying just to lead around things that the way that our business is structured and organized is very different than most shops. It's not a walk-in shop, it's an appointment only, but it's where every single artist I've ever had work with me books out considerably in advance quickly. And it's intrigued others. And so I've tried to just see what they're doing, or I'll watch their social media presence. I was just picking up little things, trying to pick out what I could be the most beneficial to others. And then I realized, what about things that artists complain about all the time? All right, well, I'll take that load of things and turn it, every single one, into the same kind of thing, where we'll start with a core group where tomorrow's seminar is going to focus around social media presence. A lot of the majority of artists who are here are phenomenal. They are exceptionally talented. Most of them are very known in their own right and regard. But some of their social media presences are either terrible, lacking, or not consistent enough. And they could benefit more by using time management in a way that will take less of their time and be more ascertained to their future. So if I'm able to get their attention enough to come in and just kind of listen over the different examples I've got of things that I could bring up, and it's usually very dumb, very little, very simple things that nobody just didn't even think
Just
about.
not doing.
Just think about it, didn't even realize was an option. And that's a lot of it. That's what it comes down to. They've never been told. They've never had the experience. They've never had anybody say, hey, did you realize this? And if you're not talking about it, how are you supposed to know to fix it? So
Yeah. Are you you're talking about the way that your shop runs, are you a pretty like process and systems oriented person? Do you
Yes.
build out a lot of processes and implement them in your shop?
Yep,
So
lots of delegation.
yeah, yeah. Um, have you found that tattooers just their eyes glaze over even in this, even people that maybe have paid for the seminar? Is it something that's just hard to get through to?
Well, I do touch and base because I'll watch that happen and I'll see their eyes kind of disappear in a thought. And I'm like, what are you thinking of? And I'll make them get out of their own head and talk to me about what they're considering. And they're usually relating it to their own personal real life experiences. And a lot of times they want to, and this sounds ugly to say this, but they want to tear down their own locale of clientele and give that excuse as to why things aren't better.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I will then give them my breakdown to locale and say, but I'm doing it, and my locale is no different than yours.
Yeah.
You just have to know where to find it. And they have like a mug going, okay, I'm back on, I'm listening again. So my background, I have a bachelor's in mathematics. So I have a background in teaching. I love teaching. It's my core. It's what I'm really, really natural at. I'm able to do that well. I can teach different people who have different ways of learning, different ways of finding to get into their brain to kind of help guide them to where it'll best benefit them. I'm good at that. So I don't let the glaze happen too quickly or too long. And then I don't leave them hanging. If you have a question, message me. I answer everybody. So it's an after effect as well. And it becomes a process because organizing your own business is not easy and not quick. It takes years to finally get a system that actually works well, and then by the time that finally works, you need to add something else. You have to add someone else. You have to change a part of it. There's a new technology we didn't have yesterday. There's a new app that we now need to use because it is the best, fastest way to do things for us. So it's a constant want to stay on the carousel of change.
Yeah. Do you stay pretty up to date on new technologies that relate to your business? Are you quick to implement and try new things out?
Yes. As quickly as possible. We do as much research as we can to compare the different brands, people's experiences. If we know anybody is using it or may know about it, we'll call them immediately and say, hey, what are your input on it? Or people who aren't in the tattoo business is actually extremely helpful. I'll go into somebody who's in computer graphics or into a totally different version of it, but they might know something about that technology and see if it's worth our time and investment or not.
Yeah. With the kind of traditional, if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality of tattooing, that's kind of unique. Do you find that like when other shops or when other artists come in and do guest spots and they see how efficiently your shop runs, that piques their interest more than 'cause that's a hard thing just to tell someone like, oh, you should start using technology. They're like, no, I should not.
Most times, most artists in this room have a smartphone.
Yeah.
So that's the argument right there.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I like the way things were. Really? Your phone doesn't say so.
Right.
So you can't just have one foot in the future and the rest of you refuse. It doesn't make any sense. You're only hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So at that point, get over it. It's scary. I know. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You're going to fumble. There's a lot of us who are in the middle trying to figure it out too.
Yeah.
Just knowing you're not alone, that's the biggest kicker.
Right. You're teaching mostly in seminars and one on a few kind of situations right now. Do you have any interest in turning that into something that's maybe more online teaching?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You never know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of having in that whole situation, right people happen to catch your name and happen to see what you're trying to do. And the focus of it all is, I guess, is finding the right moral group. People who have the same push to want to help others for nothing. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
There is no personal gain necessary from it. It's just, here, it's yours. Use it.
Yeah. Changing gears just for a second, you were saying you have a bachelor's in math. You ended up becoming a tattooer. How did that transition take
Backwards.
place?
I've been in
you
the
were a
business officially since I was 15, so 20 years come March. And as a counter girl, henna artist, apprentice, the whole nine. And so actually tattooing in the world of tattooing paid for my college.
Okay.
Because I was a counter girl in Killeen while I was finishing my bachelor's in Killeen.
Huh. Okay.
So
All right. Yeah. When you had said you've been tattooing 10 years, I just assumed you've been to
Sorry.
school before that. That's cool. What 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 was the goal? Like going into mathematics? Did you know you
they
wanted
didn't
to
have
be?
art as a degree.
Oh, really?
And I was good at math, so that was the next best thing. So
Gotcha.
why not? I'll teach what I'm good at.
Yeah. 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 That makes sense.
Yeah, that's that easy. That was it.
And you've been in Killeen your entire career as a tattooer? Or no?
No, I started originally where I'm from in South Padre Island, Texas.
Okay.
And it's a little 5-mile island down in the tip of Texas, and gravitated up here in '01 to just get away from where I was originally from and kind of venture and see different things.
Yeah, yeah. So growing up as an artist, or spending most of your tattoo career in Texas, we were just talking to the last artist we were talking to was is from this area as well. It's a very kind of traditional tattoo state. If you walk up and down these aisles, there are a lot of traditional tattooers. Being more illustrative, more painterly, did you find yourself like was it more of a struggle to learn technically? Was it did you find the clientele harder to
Well,
like
the
reluctant?
beginning of me tattooing was in New Jersey. My husband got out of the military in '05, and we went to New Jersey for 7 years. So it was an entirely different genre of everything up there. In that area, it didn't have the traditional base that Texas did. It was just kind of open to new school, and that whole world of realism was coming out because you have Paul Booth in New York. You have that whole group of people. So I don't want to say it was easier or harder. It was hard regardless. My beginning in this business was not the easiest. So I definitely had to work for it to get every single bit of what I've got. And that's why I guess I get back so much. But coming back to this area in 2012 to try to bring it in, it was a lot of what people hadn't seen and wasn't here. And the clientele was very pleased to see it and very happy. So I did create clients really quickly. And then that's where the building of the shop came from.
Huh. Okay.
So, yeah.
Go if you will go a little bit further into that. We do have a lot of younger tattooers that watch the show. Maybe people that have been tattooing 2 or 3 years, or people that are trying to get into tattooing, struggling to get apprenticeships, feeling a lot of like small towns, 3 shops. No one can draw in any of the shops. I can't find anyone that can really mentor me. And you were just saying something about having like kind of the struggle. What was yours like?
I had more doors closed than open.
Yeah.
It was not easy. Luck.
Yeah.
Luck. Right place, right time. Anytime somebody comes into my shop now, I give them the fair benefit of the doubt, and I say, first off, do not tattoo out of your home. That's going to be the first turnoff. No matter what, you're going to do something wrong, and you're going to teach yourself bad habits. Secondly, draw every single day. And bring your drawings to me so I can critique you, so I can give you advice, so I can help guide something. Even if I can't give you an apprenticeship, I can give you direction. They almost never show up. They almost never show up, and I am floored because you're basically giving somebody an open door to all those people who say, I want it so bad.
Yeah.
Clearly not enough.
Yeah.
So I also ask the question, how many is the most hours you've ever worked at any given job? Have you had a full-time job? Have you worked overtime? That kind of thing. Because as a beginning tattoo artist, you will put in 60-plus hours. There is no question there, because to be able to learn all the techniques, all of the sterilization, all of the background, all the business, all the drawing, and do all of that, and then go home and do more drawing, you're putting all your life into it.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that intestinal fortitude to already do that, and that personal drive, that what's the word?
Like stick-to-itiveness kind
No,
of.
the initiative. They're not the initiative
Yeah.
takers. It ain't the business for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your heart won't be in it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That is crazy that you can and I've witnessed similar things where someone wants it so bad, you think, or so they say, until you don't give them the answer that they want. First off, quit tattooing out of your house. And if you're looking for apprenticeships and you are tattooing out of your house, don't tell them that you've ever done it.
That's like a closed door right there.
Right. And people don't, stop doing that and start drawing every day. Well, people don't want to hear that.
No.
They just, and it's
I mean, I have to work for it?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no. It was very, very, very difficult in my beginning, and I definitely had been to quite a few different not great shops. And then I got into quite a few really good ones, or I was friends with ones, and the time just wasn't right. They didn't have an availability for me, or flip the script, how I now do not have time to take on an apprentice, but I'm willing to talk to someone and at least guide them. That's about what I had, and I was willing to take every bit of it that I could.
Yeah. Have you mentored a few artists? No.
Nope. Not yet.
Just don't want to, or haven't found the right one.
Don't have time.
Yeah.
I'm doing about 20 shows a year, give or take.
Wow.
And my own schedule of insanity and building the shop and, my own personal aspirations. I feel like if I'm going to take somebody on, I want to be able to give them the time they deserve of my attention. And if
Yeah.
I can't give that to them, there's no point in me lying and wasting their time. So instead, I've just left that open door for the artist. If you have something, drawings, painting, anything, I'll be happy to.
Yeah. What 20 shows a year, and you have a family too, right? Is that right? How does that work? Do they travel with you at all, or is
Our son will go with us when he's not in school. My mother-in-law lives with us, and so
Oh,
he's got
okay.
grandma at home. He has to structured and
oh, that's
video chat has made
Yeah.
things quite amazing.
Yeah.
We leave Thursday, come home Monday. So it's a 5-day quick trip. It's nothing too extensive. We're not there for 2 weeks or anything like that. We were trying to start out with about 10 shows, and it just evolved to this because there are so many good shows. And being in the Army base, our clients, PCS everywhere. They travel everywhere. So now I feel the need to go to where they're at least once a year.
Yeah.
So I'm within 5 to 10 hours of their location so they can come and continue their tattoo or finish the tattoo. So it kind of is this whole big game of where you're
Yeah.
I don't know.
That works out really well. Well, that's
Yeah.
fortunate to end up in a big military town so that you can go to to the other side of the country and actually tattoo and not
Yeah,
just
to
sit
Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have clients
Yep.
there and work on existing
And
pieces.
part of what I do with the seminars is teaching client organization. So I track every single client that I ever tattoo in my shop, guest artist, myself, anybody, and we communicate with them. So in the beginning of the year, I messaged everybody that I had tattooed out of state, and I said, "This is my potential tentative schedule for next year. Some of the places I'm not sure where I should go," and I gave it to my clients, and they're like, "Go to this one over that one." I'm like, "Okay, cool, we're going there. Got
Man,
it. You guys
that's
win."
Awesome. Yeah,
So-
that's really nice. And I know that these are paid seminars, and you don't want to give away the content. But if there's something that you could offer to artists, whether it is someone that is maybe a lot of tattooers, their goal is to open their own studio, but they're not really business minded. A lot of them aren't. They don't understand yet what all it's going to entail. If you had to give a tip to someone like that, someone that's running a struggling business, or someone that is trying to build an online presence, just pick one. You don't have to do all three if you don't want.
I was like, they're all three different.
Yeah.
What I'm finding when I talk to a lot of different artists is they will say they want to open their own place because they want to be able to make money off of the other artists in their shop. That's not a goal. You're wanting to live off the backs of others. Instead, look at where you're already working. And if where you're working is the best beneficial deal. And if it's not, and you've been at that location for a while, talk to the owner. See if they'll give you something better so you can continue being happy where you are. Because being able just to tattoo your clients, to come into a shop that you enjoy, to tattoo your clients, they're happy, it's safe, it's not an ugly, threatening environment, and then go home and live a rich, fruitful life. Your bills are paid, you can travel whenever you want, there's a lot of good influences. Why are you trying to leave? Why? Why are you trying to break this team that's already been made, that's fantastic? Like, it makes no sense. So to go live off the backs of others? Well, okay. First off, pay attention to what the owner's actually investing in. And then if you feel like the owner's not investing enough back in the shop, again, conversation. Talk to each other. Amongst communication is above all good, bad, indifferent, evil, I don't care. Talking to each other, at least you tried to talk it out, and then maybe come with a better solution than to just jet on people.
Yeah. I think that's great advice. A lot of times it's the grass is always greener kind of thing.
It's usually just spray painted.
That's right. Yeah, it usually is. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. We talk to a lot of, especially younger artists that is their goal is to open a shop, and for some reason.
But ask them why. Why?
Yeah.
Like the reason why I opened mine, and this is like putting my dirt to the side because everybody's got their own. I would have gladly stayed where I was, but there was a huge conflict of personalities, and we did try to talk through it, and there was not going to be a getting through it at that moment in time. We have since thankfully made up and made friends again, but at that moment in time, when I went to the other shops in town and I did my research and I tried, they were not progressive in the mindset that I wanted to be. And I was not sure if they would be open to me coming in and trying to change things on them. And I didn't feel like that was fair. So I attempted to eat my own words and go into either a different shop, work with another team that was already established, something. Like, it makes the most sense to do that. But in my regard, it wasn't going to work. So I opened a 900 square foot little by myself place to start with. And like I said, people seeing my work and the way that we self-promote and do all that within our town, the business came. And when the business came, then you're like, okay, crap, I need another artist quickly. Not because I need money off that artist, but because I'm not able to take care of these clients, and I don't want to tell all of them no. So then that's where the need comes in.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to just go open your own thing, go see what's in your town or the towns around you. See if somebody is progressive enough. And then if you are already the top artist in your shop and there is not going to be someone better than you, so you're not going to learn from anyone, you're not going to be able to gain anything, maybe don't look at the art, look at the business side. Have you learned all the business side? If you've plateaued, okay, at that point maybe there is a next step in your life finally, because you finally have hit that plateau of learning as much as you can from that location, and you've given back everything you can.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, then I think that's fair. Talk to the owner at that point.
When your shop started growing and you needed to bring artists on, did you find it as challenging to find artists that were good fit for your environment as you found it to find a shop that was a good fit for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our shop dynamic scares the crap out of people.
How so?
Because it's an appointment-only environment where we only meet new clients the first Wednesday of each month. I created a consultation day. I created it because I needed to be able to organize when people came in to talk to us so that I didn't disrupt the client's appointments all the time as I was by myself.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So we created this system that you just had to trust it, meaning the other 29 or so days a month, you're telling people, sorry, you got to come back on the next one.
Yeah.
You're trusting they're going to come back.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily turning them away, but guiding them to think of a whole new way of doing things. So the way that we structure our shop, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But once you've experienced it, you're going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this works. I don't know if this would work anywhere else, but that's not true. Because as the guest artists have come through, we have a team of 16 guest artists right now from all over the world. Quite a few of them have implemented their own version of a consultation day at their location in their part of the country.
Yeah.
And maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once a month, or whatever the case may be, or just a couple of the artists, not even the entire shop. It works because it's organization. You're training your clientele to come in when you can see them, so it's all just an easier fit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I think a lot of tattooers have the have had the experience where the front desk comes back and says, "Is there any way I can squeeze a consultation in between these two?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Hey, I guess so." And then that consultation is so forced.
when are you going to eat? When are you
Right,
going to break down?
eat?
When are you going to set up? What if you go over an half hour?
Right.
What if they're early?
Yeah.
You just screwed yourself for that hour. That's your hour.
Right.
That's not for some person who might need a 2-hour block of your time to go over ideas.
Yeah, and exactly. And you find yourself kind of forced to rush the consultation. Sometimes you don't get all the information that you need. Your notes are kind of quick and
If
haphazard.
you took any, you might have
any.
forgot the phone number,
Right.
anything.
And then a week later, you're looking at the appointment, and you're going, "Who is this? Why did we?" Yeah, that's a great idea. Handling it that way.
I've heard of a lot of artists who they do that same thing where they try to fit it in between, and I'm like, no, it's a bad idea. Your time is sacred for a reason. Quit giving it away.
Yeah.
And I'm preaching to the choir for myself because I'm just as guilty.
Yeah.
And you have to eat. You have to take a break. You have to go to the bathroom. You need to check your phone. You need your decompression time from your last tattoo so you can jump into the next one, because it's a very large creative emotional connection. It's exhausting.
Right.
So you need your break too.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
human.
No, I agree. I think that's a great idea. If people want to see your work, where do they go?
Multiple locations. My website, preciselyveiltattoo.com. The Instagram, also Precisely Veil Tattoo. Facebook, the page and the person. Twitter, Pinterest.
Everything is Precisely Veiled Tattoo.
Yep.
I would imagine that might be covered in your seminar.
Yes.
Name your stuff the same.
The biggest one, and this one I'll give away and I don't even care who sees it. On your page, if you have more than 35 likes, and not your profile is where you can interact with people. This is your business page side of things. If I were to copy and paste your link, and there is www.facebook.com/whatever, and then a bunch of numbers, you're not searchable. You're not Googleable.
Huh.
You need to go in and update your username. I can't tell you how many people. That's usually immediately I'm like, I can't search you because you haven't fixed that. And they don't tell you have to do that. I don't know why that's a thing with Facebook, but until you have over 35 likes, you can't update that. So that's huge. Everybody needs to do that.
Huh. Okay.
So,
and
yeah.
you update that, and it gets rid of all the numbers, and it makes it easier for people to find
So
you.
when you that on your business card, whatever you have people actually search, they'll be able to find you.
Gotcha.
Just because you wrote it on your business card doesn't mean Facebook understands that.
Understands it. Oh,
So.
that's a great tip. I didn't know that. Oh, well, cool.
Go check your own.
Yeah, oh, I will. I'm sure Scott's good at that stuff. I'm sure he's done
He's
that.
good? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah,
Scott's got it down.
Scott's got it down. He's our computer guru. Check out. We'll put links to all of Amy's work. Good luck with the seminar.
Thank you.
I'm sure it'll go well. Has it sold well? Do you know?
Nobody. We don't usually do advanced sales.
Oh, okay.
It's just
It's
tomorrow
on the
at 10
spot.
a.m. Show up, and hopefully people show up.
Hope so. This show will come out well after that, so we can't push it.
Oh,
But
never mind.
If you happen to be in Austin
Oh,
3
no.
weeks ago.
Or any convention that I'm at, because I'm doing a seminar at every single convention that I'm going to.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I'll be in. Can I say the next ones?
Yeah, whatever you
All
want.
right, I'm going to be in Philly in February, and then Cleveland. March, we're doing Odessa, and then Chicago and Biloxi, which is due south. In April, it's going to be Louisville. May is Kansas City. I feel like I'm missing something.
You are organized. You know all of those in a row out of your head?
Yeah.
Crazy.
But every single one of those, I'll be doing a seminar at.
Huh.
So
Awesome. Well, that's one of those has to be close to somebody. that's
Somewhere wherever
watching
you
this.
live,
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks
Yeah.
so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
TattooImprovement.com. Sign up. Keep up with us. I don't know as well as her where we're going to be when. But it's on the website. You'll find it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.